Hi, I am here again with Chase Huddleston. Hi, Chase.
Hi.
You had a question for me.
Yes, I do. Recently, I've been hearing a lot of the same conversations and questions and concerns from renters. These are people who live in Denver. They've been renting for a while, trying to save money for a down payment, and what they see are prices going up and up and up. They also see their rent going up, and they sort of are feeling, how can I afford to live in this city? How am I ever going to buy my first home if I can't save money fast enough? And so, whenever I mention to them a program that I hope you'll talk more about is CHFA, which is a down payment assistance program offered in our area that allows people to get into a home with much less of a down payment than they think that they'll need.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just hoping you could kind of walk us through how relatively easy that is and how available it is to especially first-time buyers who are renting and wanting to buy their first home, but not sure if they can afford the down payment.
Yeah, it's such a dilemma because as fast as you keep saving, the house prices and the interest rates are being going up. And if people feel like it's just that never-ending thing that they can't reach, what changed this year, which is huge for our area, is they went the income limits. So it used to be that the income limits were so restrictive, you couldn't qualify to buy very much. So it was sort of like, well, that's great, but thanks very much. That can't really get me much of a house. But they've raised the income limits across the whole of Colorado to 148,000, which means that if you own 148,000, you probably will qualify for somewhere around a $700,000 mortgage, which is a meaningful house when you're looking at what people are paying in rent in many of the areas of Denver. You can actually translate that now into actual ownership and build wealth for yourself rather than for your landlord. So what CHFA does is it basically offers a first mortgage along with a second mortgage. The reason that there's two is just to allow us to lend more. And in theory, you can come up with as little as $1,000. We don't like to speak that because there's other closing costs. It does cover most of the closing costs, but depending on the time of year and property taxes and things. So we'd like you to plan for maybe having about 1% of the purchase price available, at least that. But this is huge, so if you're looking at a $700,000 house, if you've got $10,000 in savings, we could probably get you into a house, which I think most people think they've got to get to 70,000 or even 140,000. So they have the 20% down, and that's where it's just felt unreachable. So it's a phenomenal program. They've really opened it up for Colorado. The second loan is 4% of the first loan amount and covers closing costs, down payment, any what we call prepaid. So any prepaid insurance and taxes and things. So it's a little complicated there, but call us. We can walk you through it. Don't sit there thinking that you can't buy if you haven't got the down payment. And maybe you can't yet, but at least if we talk now, we can give you the actions you need to be in to be able to be ready to buy. But I would say, more often than not, the people we meet actually are ready to buy now. And you and I had a client recently who purchased and maybe wasn't thinking that they were so ready. So it's worthwhile talking to us. Chase, I know you're an expert on what they can get for 700, and there's something.
Well, it is, and it is, and I am, especially even if somebody is living in a one-bedroom condo, a single person, thinking about their future, thinking about how much money they're spending in rent every month, it's worth having a conversation. Maybe you can get a one-bedroom condo. At least you're paying your own mortgage and not your landlord's. So it really is something to think about. And I have seen this program work, which is why I'm so glad that they increased the income limit. I have seen it change people's lives. I've seen a person buy their first, studio condo and then trade that up to a single family home a few years later. It's a way to get in the market with very little money down.
Yeah, it's huge. I heard somebody say the other day, you don't get rich renting.
You don't.
No.
You're helping make someone rich, though.
Exactly. All right. Well, give either one of us a call. I'm happy to talk CHFA all day long.
Thank you.
Cheers.